Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today I'm taking you along as I clean my house. It was a really busy weekend and an even busier week, so I really had to spread out my cleaning this week. On the days we go grocery shopping, I often like to first clear out my fridge and get rid of any leftover food that might have been left over from the week before. I have to say we do pretty good in this regard, and I rarely have to throw food out. I'm a big believer in leftovers, especially for lunch. It's such a time saver and it's a great way to use up any food that hasn't been eaten. I decided to work on one section at a time, so I took out everything from the middle and bottom shelves, and then I sprayed and wiped down the glass. This is something that's really good to do if you can, even before you go grocery shopping. That way you can get an accurate inventory of what you have in your fridge and what you can use before going and buying something that you don't need or won't even have time to cook up. When I have quite a bit of protein to store in my fridge, I like to use a cookie tray that I place at the bottom right corner of my fridge, just to put all the protein items there, and then I don't have to worry about cross-contamination. This also allows me to know what needs to be used up right away or what will need to be frozen soon. Here I'm just putting back some of the produce that I had previously had in my fridge, and I had also stored some of my produce in these amazing Tupperware containers that really help to keep everything fresh for a long time. And I also placed the new lettuce at the back of the fridge and then the older lettuce at the front so I can use that first. This is how my fridge looks afterwards. It's definitely not a Pinterest-worthy fridge, but it really makes me feel blessed and makes my heart happy to see my fridge full of fresh food that I can feed my family with. For the rest of the fruits and vegetables, I like to wash them before I put them away. That way it's easier to grab everything when I'm in a hurry during the week or on the weekend. And I also like to fold my bags, both the reusable shopping bags and any plastic bags that I might have happened to collect. And that way they're nice and neat and out of the way. I wash most of my produce in a solution of vinegar and water. I usually use this large bowl here. I put about a cup of white vinegar inside, and then I fill the rest with cold water. And then I'll soak the produce for exactly 2 minutes. They say this is just enough time to kill off any mold spores that might be on the fruit and vegetables. Then I place everything on a clean dish towel and allow the fruits and vegetables to air dry before storing them in an airtight container. This process does take a little bit of time, but I feel like it's so worth it for the convenience it gives me later on. It was then time to clear out my sink and put away all the clean dishes. My kids were very much into this mousetrap game this week. That's why it's sitting on the counter. And so I didn't want to take it apart and put it away only to have to reassemble it not long after. So I decided to just work around it and move around as I wipe down the counters. I like to use an S pattern to wipe down surfaces just to make sure that I get every square inch and I can catch any crumbs that are on the counter. I also love to get down at eye level to check the countertops to make sure that I haven't missed a spot. I really try and avoid having the kids be on their iPad all day, so they're constantly jumping from activity to activity throughout the day. And I have to say, kinetic sand is one of those activities that keeps the kids occupied for a long time, but unfortunately, it does make a bit of a mess. I make them play on these trays so the cleanup is a little bit easier. Today was bathroom cleaning day, and so I started with the kids' bathroom, picking up all of the water toys. And then I sprayed down the toilet and started working on the vanity. I like to use a non-toxic cleaner when I can, so I have a general cleaner that is made with some dish soap, some rubbing alcohol and water, and I sometimes add some essential oils to it. I'll spray everything down and then go back with a sponge and scrub everything really well. For the mirrors and chrome finishes, I just use straight white vinegar. I find it's a nice way to get a streak-free finish. I just make sure not to use straight vinegar on any other surfaces such as marble or quartz, and especially any of the knobs or faucets that we have that are black, that black matte finish, because the vinegar can etch the surface and leave a permanent stain very easily. Didn't get to clean the rest of the bathrooms until later on in the day, which was a little frustrating, but that's the reality of life with small children. I'm trying to juggle work and other life responsibilities, so sometimes cleaning takes the back burner. Since it was later on in the evening, I didn't have a lot of time to do a super deep clean, so I just stuck to the basics of cleaning the toilet, wiping down the sinks and the vanity, and cleaning our mirror. It's not perfect, but it's enough to make the space feel fresh and clean and inviting again. I'm often a perfectionist, especially when it comes to cleaning. I take great pride in having a clean home, but I keep having to remind myself that it's not feasible to have a perfect home all the time. In fact, with little kids, or I would guess with any kids, the opposite is usually true most of the times. After I finished cleaning the bathrooms, I put a load of laundry on. Because the electricity is a little bit cheaper in the evenings in the area I live in, I usually do a load later on in the evening, and then I simply dry the clothes and fold them the next day. The next day, I had to tidy up our bedroom and make the beds. We had been so busy the last little bit that clothes and random things started to pile up. I needed to spend some time to put everything in its place, and I'm still working on putting things back in their place right away as soon as possible. But again, it's a work in progress. Having clean floors makes such a big difference, especially in our house, because we do have dark hardwood and everything shows up. And one of my biggest pet peeves is stepping barefoot and feeling dust or any kind of crumbs underneath my feet. I absolutely hate that feeling. So I usually try to vacuum as often as possible. I don't have time to mop every week, but at least having the floors vacuumed every day or about every other day makes such a big difference. This area here is our mudroom, which leads into the garage and the powder room. And there's always so much sand and rocks that come in from outside and from the garage, and they get stuck on our little carpet here that we have in the front door. So I do have to regularly vacuum that as well. I usually will do the regular vacuum just on top of it, like really fast. But this time there was some stubborn debris that was really stuck on, and so I took out the carpet beater and that helped me clean it much easier. That's all the cleaning I got to do on the second day, and so I left the mopping for the next day. I used this Crucier, I think it's pronounced Crucier, floor cleaner a few times now. It's supposed to mop and vacuum at the same time, and I have to say I'm not really impressed by this. It leaves streaks on the floor and it doesn't really pick up all the crumbs. I know other people that absolutely love their mop vacuum machine, and so I'm thinking maybe it's the brand that I'm using, so I would be willing to give a different brand another chance. It does seem to be cleaning though, because look at how black the water was after I was just done mopping half the main floor. But for now, I much prefer using the spin mop. I finally got around to folding and putting away the clothes I had washed the day before. I like to hang dry some specific items, such as clothes that have graphics on them, as I feel like the dryer makes the graphics shrink and crack. And I also air dry clothes that still have some stains on them that weren't completely removed in the washing machine. The heat from the dryer really sets the stains, and it makes it much more difficult to remove them afterwards. I'll also hang dry any items that are more delicate, such as bathing suits or workout clothes. And I like to air dry my tablecloths and sheets, as this makes them less wrinkly as opposed to putting them in the dryer. A nice tip if you're hanging clothes to dry in the winter time, it really adds a lot of humidity back into the air, which is a nice bonus. I really hope you enjoyed this clean with me video this week. If you would like some more cleaning inspiration, here is a previous video that you can watch as well. Also, if you like this kind of content on cooking and cleaning and homemaking, I have a new video every Friday and would love for you to join our little community. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.